and kind of poke from the bottom. Oh shit. Welcome back to Fort Lewis. Today we're talking houseplants. I love houseplants. I think a girl cannot have too many. They clean the air around us. They just make you happy to look at. And they really help me beat the winter blues, just having something green to nurture and take care of when it's too cold to do anything outside. Yesterday we went to Lowe's and there was a crazy good deal on plants. We met a worker there who was just wheeling and dealing with us and offered us these big lush tropicals for $5 a piece. They're normally 15 or 20, so I couldn't say no. I walked home with a couple. I've already potted one up and I'm going to show you the process just so you can see some of the things that I do to help ensure that my plants are getting a nice, good, healthy start. I'll put this one down. This one did not have a tag. I have no idea what it is. She said something along the lines of corn plant, but if you do a Google search for corn plant, you get like maize, like corn we eat. So I don't know what it is, but it's very pretty. I assume it likes a high light. It looks like it probably thrives in, pretty bright conditions. And the soil that it's living in is really moist. So I'm going to try to maintain that moisture level. When you buy them at the nursery, they come in these big, ugly black pots. But I found this one at Lowe's as well, and we're going to move over here. So the first step is going to be to take your pot. If this was plain terracotta, you would want to soak it first, just so it doesn't wick out all the moisture in your soil. But this one's glazed, we won't need to do that. But you do want to give your roots something to sit in, just in case you get too much water in the pot. And so I'm going to put some gravel in the bottom. I'm using just a regular sort of industrial gravel here. You won't see it, so it doesn't have to be pretty. You don't need a lot, maybe an inch, 2 inches. It's a little dusty. Just kind of spread that in the bottom. You can see it here. Okay. On top of this, we're going to put maybe an inch of soil. For things that I'm not eating, I'm not incredibly picky. So any sort of potting soil will work. It doesn't necessarily need to be organic. But if you were going to eat any of this foliage, you would definitely want to use organic soil. I've got a little plastic cup here, and I'm just going to scoop about an inch of soil all along the bottom. Now my plants have a nice base to kind of grow into. I'm going to set this aside. The trick with this is to get the plant out of the container without breaking all the leaves off. I have found the easiest way to do it is sort of roll it back and forth gently. So I'm going to take my plant, place it on its side, and with firm, even pressure, just pushing around the edges of the pot, and hopefully we're loosening it up enough that it'll just pull right out. I think I've done it enough. You want to give it a tug. If it's not moving, pull it back down and kind of poke from the bottom. Oh shit. Okay. Some come out more smoothly than others. This isn't great. I wish that I had not lost half of the soil covering my root ball, but that's okay. It can be fixed. It's hard to see over this thing. You're gonna want to get your plant in the middle of the pot so that it's not leaning too much to one side or another. So get it nice and centered. And you can see I've lost a lot of dirt here. So I'm actually, before I start using the bag soil, I'm just gonna start packing some of this into that big hole that I created. Maybe loosening it up as we go. Once you have filled it in with dirt, it's going to be really difficult to move. So sometimes it helps to just kind of stop and eye your progress. Make sure you have your plant where you want it. All right, I'm gonna add maybe just another cup or two of new soil. And I'm gonna spread it evenly but not pack it. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. The last step is to cover the top with a little sand. It doesn't really do anything for the plant per se. I have read that it may help with insects. We don't have an insect problem with our houseplants, but maybe this is why it helps deter it. But I just think the sand looks pretty. And so I'm gonna place a thin layer of sand over the dark soil to kind of give it a beachy feel. And for this, I'm just using inexpensive play sand. And I'm going to come almost to the top of the pot. Okay, I think she's ready. So I'm going to find a nice bright home for this one. Water it fairly frequently to keep the soil moist, and hopefully she'll just continue to grow and establish herself here. As the plants get bigger, you'll want to repot them. You know, sometimes it's every year, sometimes it's every couple of years, but just you want to make sure that they don't get too root bound. And we'll talk more about plant care later. If you'd like to get updates on the houseplants and take a tour of the other houseplants here, you can click the bell below to get notifications. And please subscribe to the channel. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time.